Hey, back with Barrett Builds channel. We got another vehicle review for you. And if you don't know, I've always been a GM guy. I've owned General Motors products my entire life, ever since I was 16 years old. I've had countless General Motors products, worked for General Motors for over 10 years. I almost feel like I'm cheating on them, as me and my wife, we stepped out and she's always wanted a Jeep. So look here, that's what we got. We got a Jeep in the garage, guys. Yeah, that's a horse back there too. Don't ask. This horse thing's going way too far, y'all. You see me on Barrett Builds a lot, building fences and different stuff like that. It's cold out, it's snowing, and we got a little horse that's in sick bay. So we brought it in a heated garage. I know, it's crazy. Anyway, some of my videos, you'll see goats, who knows what on this channel. But anyway, what I'm going to do is give you a review today on this 2025 Jeep Wrangler JL Willys. We pulled the decals off already. Just didn't like those. Felt like it made the truck, made the Jeep cheap looking. I don't know. I just didn't like the decal. Rubicon one looks a little better. It's a little more fancy. I'll go over what the difference is between the two, why we decided with this one, and go into detail on what I like about this. I'm actually pretty impressed, honestly, with the Jeep dealership, with the whole buying process, and we'll go through all that in this video. Can't wait to dive into it with you and let you know what this GM guy running the first Chrysler product ever, what I think. Do a little quick walk around outside on this Jeep. One of the reasons that we elected to go with the Willys, well, I'll be honest, the biggest thing was this is a leftover 2025 and all the 2026s are on lot, so we got a good deal. But isn't that everybody's number one biggest thing, buying a vehicle? The best deal. You want the best deal. You want the best deal. Look, you can buy these Jeeps anywhere. There ain't a whole lot of difference between the 2025, 2026. We did look at some used ones, did a lot of research, found a really good price on a 4xe Jeep, and decided against that due to all the issues that they've had. We actually drove one, and it drove a little weird, the 4xe did. It was just weird, like you let off the gas, it was almost like a hydrostatic, reminded me of my tractor. You let off the gas on that hydrostatic John Deere over there, and it almost brakes for you, you know. So the 4xe felt the same way driving it. This one feels more like what we're used to, but like I said, the main thing, the number one thing was the price. Also, actually probably number one was the color. Everything we got is white, like the Cadillac, my truck. The project truck behind me is going to be black or white with black accent. I just like the look. I think it's clean. You know, it's nothing real wild. Of course, this is a Jeep. You're going to get in here, and you know, one of the fun things from me, my perspective, is again, this was my wife's purchase, but we both are excited to do some things to it. It's pretty much her baby. I'll do the work. She picks all the stuff out. But there's so much stuff to do with Jeep. There's so much stuff. It's just unbelievable. And I think General Motors, if they would build something similar to the Jeep, I don't know. You know, they've got the Blazer back out, and it's more like a car. I mean, this vehicle right here is just fun. It hasn't changed a whole lot over all the years. So some accessories could even bleed over. But you know, like the JK was the generation before this. If you don't know what to look for, you can't see the difference. You know, other than the JL has the biggest thing I see is the JL has the marker lights and the fenders. The JK will have little round lights underneath the headlights. But a lot of things look the same. A lot of things bleed over, and they're just so dang popular. Everybody's making something aftermarket, something personalized. I mean, this is a canvas that you can buy and do whatever you want to with it. I mean, it's amazing what all stuff they got. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this. We're gonna document all our builds, but I just wanted to show you and give you kind of an overview and give you a little vehicle review on it. From the outside, the Willys has the newer LED headlights. I like the black grille with no chrome. I just like it's a sporty look, and it does have the rear locker. I like that. I like having at least one locker. you know, if we get down the road, we get serious off-roading, I mean, I can always put a front locker in. But anyway, we'll go to the inside and look it over. We'll do a road test with it. Check this bad boy out. I'll show you some of the cool things I like about it, and some things we've done. Before we get to the inside and before we drive this thing, I did want to mention and show you, we did go with the 3.6 liter V6. They do make a 2.0 turbo. It's 4-cylinder. We drove it. We really like the feel of that turbo and the responsiveness. This motor, they're rated similar on horsepower. I am a turbo guy. I like turbos. However, this motor's been around for a long time and been revised. It's tried and true. It's nothing fancy, no turbos, no nothing like that. But this is an off-road vehicle. Reliability is number one. So I do like the fact the V6 has got enough power and torque, gives you a little more weight, and also you don't have the added things of the turbo or different things like that that could go wrong with it. So that's what I like. Basic. And that's one thing, I'll be honest, that's one thing I really like about the Jeep product. It's a 2025, but guys, it's still basic. You can work on it. It's nothing frills and fancy that you've never seen and kind of all kinds of crazy whatever, you know. And this truck was, I keep wanting to call it a truck. This Jeep, you know, Jeep's still staying with their roots as far as removable doors, even fold down windshield in this thing. So I just think it's kind of cool that they really build a vehicle and have the consumer in mind, to let the consumer work on it. I can't wait to show you one of my coolest features I found on this thing. They already have switches, 4 switches auxiliary wired into this. Guys, one of the other things too, one thing I really thought was cool at the dealer was they're talking about, you know, when you take this off-road, you know, I've never heard General Motors working for them for all my life. And I'm not knocking them. I love General Motors. I'm still a GM guy. But I've never heard them be like, yeah, when you take this truck up in the mountains, and you know, so, you know, they know what their customers are going to use it for. Some of them don't, and that's fine too. But, I mean, I call it a cult, but it's a whole thing. Like, they took us around the dealer, and they've got a Jeep store in there, and you can buy all kinds of stuff, winches and bumpers, and I mean, it's a deal. Like it's a really cool environment that Jeep has built around this one product that they've kept so long, and there's so many of them on the road, and they have kept it at a decent price. Yeah, you can buy the $392 or whatever like that, and you get up to $70,000-$80,000. And to me, I'm not buying this thing to go up and down the road fast. So why in the world do I need a V8, a Hemi in that thing? So anyway, long story short, this is outside. This is what we got. Got the little old V6, and we're gonna have some fun with it. We're gonna do some on our other channel, Perfect Pair Adventures. Guarantee you, springtime, we're gonna have the top off this thing, the doors off, and we're gonna go see some of these East Tennessee mountains, and we're gonna take you all along with us on that channel. So you need to see that. Any of the builds will be here on Barrett Builds, and we'll go through them. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of fun building this thing too. I think we're probably gonna spend way more money than she thinks on builds, because she's already ordered parts, and usually she's the one getting on me over customizing everything, but she's already got parts on the way. So anyway, I got some work to do, I guess. I'm about to close the hood, but I want to go over one other thing with you. Look how everything, I like how also they have made everything accessible. Fuse block right there. The battery, you know how easy that is to change that battery? Look, it's not buried up under a bunch of other crap. It's right here on top. And it's even got extra studs where you can put more stuff up there if you want to, and put more add-ons. You know, you can change this battery if you need to, jump off this battery if you need to. Everything's easy accessible from right here. You know, power steering, your oil, checking your oil, filling your oil. I mean, I can't tell you how some vehicles now are so hard just to get oil in them. I mean, you got to have a 4-foot funnel to get them down to where they buried up the fill cap. I don't know, just silly stuff. Everything else, all your fluids, easy to get to, easy to manage, easy to take care of. I like it. Even the air box, really straightforward. Change your air filter. It's good and high. You know, they just make it to where their drivers, their owners can do stuff with them. We can modify them. We can work on them. I like it. Way to go, Jeep. One other aspect I really like about the Jeep is they have fun. They have fun with their product. I will say this. What does that reminds me? That Cadillac, What does it and this Jeep have in common? At first, you're going to say absolutely nothing. Well, you know what? I think these two vehicles have a lot in common. Not that they're both white, they both got black accents, and they look sporty, but because there are two totally different animals, obviously. But you know what? These two are examples of a manufacturer building a good product and having fun with it. You know, having fun with it. I mean, this car is not practical at whatsoever, but I guarantee you, the engineers that worked on it, even the people that put it together, had fun with it. I mean, you get back, you step back, it's beautiful. It's a hot rod. It's so much fun. GM lost a lot of that. You know, you look back at this is, I love it though. You look at their Corvettes and all that. They have fun with those. A lot of hidden details in here. If you'll check my review out on this car, they had fun building it. They had fun programming it. There's stuff that's not in the owner's manual that I'm going to show you on this car in that video that'll amaze you. Same with this thing. They had fun with it. The auxiliary switches I just showed you. There's countless other things. While we're outside, I can show you this even better. Those little mats right there, those little rubber covers, you pull them out, guess what? There's a 4-plex mount there where you can mount cell phone holders, radio holders, tablet holders, whatever you want to mount, and you know, get your little arm and come off there. I mean, that's being practical, knowing what your customers are using it for, and building a car that way. That's why they sell so good. I'm convinced, because let's face it, they've got a bad rap of not being the most reliable, having little issues here and there, little quirks and things that tear up. Fine, whatever. All cars do. And maybe the reason that these have a high number is because guess what? They sell the crap out of them everywhere you go. There are Jeeps everywhere. But little fun stuff like this, you know, like a little Jeep here, little flip-flops integrated, they call those little Easter eggs. I mean, just silly stuff. None of it's a big deal, you know. But it's having fun with their vehicle, doing something different for their customers, letting them, they know their customer really enjoys driving their product. And I think they really enjoy building it too. One thing they did upgrade, okay. One thing they did upgrade on the 2025s, and they did this in the JL, is you've got the touch button here to lock and unlock with the button, like a later model, like nicer vehicles. Also, instead of having the button you push with your thumb, it's got a door handle that just pops open. Easy peasy. It's been a cold one here in East Tennessee. In fact, in the middle of that Jeep review, we were getting snow, and so anyway, long story short, this thing's dirty now. So I've had some time to give this thing a drive, go over some of its options so I can share them with you guys and let you know my opinion. A guy that's come from General Motors and always been trucks, you know. And I'll have to say, I like the little Jeep. The around town, the easiness to get in and out. I mean, it's almost, to me, it almost feels like, compared to what I'm normally driving, you know, big 3/4 tons or Yukon Denali or dually, you know. So running around this thing is fun, I'll have to say. I know why everybody likes the Jeeps. They're easy to drive, running around town, getting all the things done. It's a utility. It's like my golf cart or the mule or the Ranger or whatever, but it's street legal and it's got a little creature comforts, which I like. In fact, I would rather have one of these, I think, as a farm vehicle than a Ranger, because I can drive it all the way plumb into town and load it up and have all my feed and everything in it and protect it and run right back out in the field with it. So I don't know, maybe we'll do that in the future and build a farm Jeep and outrig it. But all the accessories are awesome too, but it's almost overload. So, but anyway, enough of that. Let's get in here and look at some of these features that I found that I like, and we'll go from there. A feature I didn't think I ever needed, but now that I've got it on my dually, I love it. Where you can lock and unlock right here on the handle with your little thumb button. Keep your fob in your pocket. It just makes life easier. Didn't think it's necessary, but once you got it, you like it. I'll say another thing I like is the power windows and locks and all that. You get a heated steering wheel, heated seat. I do like that brings over some of the luxuries that you see in other vehicles that we're used to, but Jeeps, you know, they've had them. But when I think about a Jeep, I think of an old Jeep that may or may not have that stuff. In fact, I'm thinking of the wind noises and all that. And Jeep, they have done a really good job sealing it up. It does have more road noise than, say, even my dually. And on interstate, I'll have to say I'd rather drive my dually. It's a more comfortable drive. This thing, you're driving it. I mean, it's an older setup with a solid front axle, steering link, you know, drag bar and all that steering. So, and then of course you got mud tires on it. And anybody that's going to lift one and put bigger tires on it, and a lot of people do, that road manner is going to get worse. So just know that. That's like I say, I like it for around town. If I'm traveling, no thanks. Give me my Denali back, or even my dually rides better than this thing as far as running 80 down the interstate. But it does a fine job with it. One thing I really did think was cool was these Jeeps from the factory have a little plug in them right here that you can actually pull out, and it goes straight through the floor, out of the vehicle, through the carpet from the factory. So it's like a drain hole. I know the old Jeeps had that as well, under the mat or whatever, but the fact that integrated in with the mat is pretty cool. I like that. Okay, as we get in a couple things, come on, a net. Nobody likes that. Hey Otis, how you doing, buddy? He thought I said come on to him, but the nets. But they've got again, if there's something about a Jeep that you don't like, I'm a firm believer. There's probably something aftermarket that's taken care of. I mean, wish I had handles here. Obviously, we're going to put some. They've got those handles. This one does have an airbag up here. Be conscious of that. They do make some that screw in these holes. They're already there. You know, they leave holes for them. Once you pull these up, you'll see it's already got multiple different mounts for cell phone holders, tablet holders, radio holders, whatever you could come up with, and they've got them. I'm telling you, that's cool. I like that a manufacturer does that, knowing their Jeeps are going to get used, and you know, put your radios and such there. I'll fix that later. So anyway, as we get scrolling down a little more, I do like the big infotainment. That's another thing I didn't think I needed, but when I got it on my newer dually, it's like I can't live without it. All your buttons here, heated seats, heated steering wheel. Sorry, I got backwards there. Your dual climate control, all your normal things. This does have the auto start stop. I don't like that feature. You can turn it off. However, one thing I do not like is you have to turn it off every time the ignition cycled. Again, aftermarket met the call there. Pop this out, put a little aftermarket thing in there, and it leaves it switched off all the time. So that is actually on order. Mute button for your radio. I did like this feature. Wish I had this on my truck, a screen off. There's sometimes where you're driving at night and it would just be nice for this screen to be looking like it is right now, just black. This screen was really, really bright. I had to turn it way down, and it's still bright, which is good in some cases, but you know, sometimes late night driving, it's just a lot easier to turn that screen off. We'll run through this. This is a Willys. It does have a rear lock. The Rubicon, you'll shift up for a front lock. You can do front, rear lock, and sway bar link. This one's only got rear diff lock. And then you've got your 4 accessory switches. Those are really cool. They're already pre-wired, and you can change the setting from latching to momentary. Everything else in the infotainment, we'll go through that. All your media hookups here, and charging, auxiliary, both styles USB. Small glove box, I'm gonna put a lot in there, but anyway, that's about it. Manual, you got a manual mode. I mean, it's in a performance vehicle, but off-road, you may want to put that in manual so it'll hold down going down a hill. We also have off-road where the computer will do that for you, and we'll get into that as well. Here you go. When you go to vehicle, when you go to settings, then over here you can scroll up and down. What's your profile, safe driving assistance, clock, all that kind of thing. Aux switches. If you look right there, aux switches. You can go into that, and these aux switches down here are pre-wired up. Under the hood, there's a blunt cut. Right here behind the dash, you remove the panel, there's a blunt cut wire, and you can set these guys up. This is amazing. Type of switch. You want it latching, or do you want it momentary, or you use for like a flash or a horn or something like that? These are set to latching. Also, your power source. You can tell that thing. Do you want it a battery power, or do you want it ignition power for whichever switch you're on? Right now we're on aux 1. So that was super cool. To me, that was really, really cool. And then all your other options. That's one thing though that I found that kind of maybe a secret that they don't tell you about. So outside of that, I'm happy with it. Seats are fairly comfortable. And all in all, I'm pretty impressed. All right, we're under the Jeep. This one come equipped already with both 7-way and 4-way with your trailer hitch. It's got the tow package. Tow rating on these, I have to put this in on text. I'm not sure what it is. I know they're not much, which is not a deal to us. We're not going to tow anything with it, but most of the time I see these guys, you know, you may tow small boat, jet skis, 4-wheelers, you know, stuff like that. You're not going to be towing no big horse trailers or nothing like that. So otherwise, underneath looks pretty good. I do like the red shocks. I don't know if they're any kind of special shock, but I like the red. They're Mopars, but 4-wheel disc brakes. You know, it's clean. I always like to see a clean undercarriage. It won't be like this for long, but here it is. Anyway, gas tank seems to be protected pretty well with a metal shield. It's a pretty big tank, actually. I mean, that sucker's pretty long. I don't know what gallon is. We'll look that up. We'll let you know. You know, honestly, I would like to see more protection, underbody protection on these. I'm kind of surprised that they don't have any more skid plates than what they do. You can see, like, right in here, your engine oil pan. I like that little small oil pan, man. That's pretty neat. Easy to replace, but not all of it. Doesn't have much protection on it, so I don't know. And this right here, I don't like to see this stuff, but where they've run a plastic 4-way connector on coolant. Listen, that plastic, we all know it gets hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, and then crack. But anyway, so that may be a weak link, but either way, looks clean, like it. The front bumpers and the heat and the shield here is a little lack to be desired, which everybody replaces all that stuff right away anyway. So there you have it. It's a quick overview. I do like these tires. These Falcons work really good. We got to test them out real good in the snow, and we had a little no issue. Okay, let's test drive this Jeep. We're going to go down the road and check on some cows, but I found that this is, I like the Jeep. I do. I like it to check my cows and run to the feed store or whatever. You know, obviously if I'm getting a bigger load, need something in my truck, but it's kind of like having a side-by-side, especially if not all your property's on one spot. You know, you kind of got it side-by-side you can go everywhere with, you know, not have to worry about, you know, running a highway or whatnot with it. But anyway, works really good. So one thing, I've seen a lot of people complain about this key fob, how big it is. It's not the bigness of the key that bothers me. It's the smallness of the buttons. I like to be able to slide this in my pocket. Like in my truck, I slide it in my pocket and I'll push the buttons through my pants because, like, through the pocket. So I like them being a little bigger with a little bigger buttons. So manufacturers, I don't know if you're watching me, take that into consideration. Although you know, like, girls don't like to carry big keys, and a lot of girls like Jeeps, so they don't like it being so big. My wife, I have to carry this for her all the time. The other thing I don't like is I do carry it in my pocket, and this button gets pushed every time it's in my pocket. So get rid of this. GM's got one that just slides in, and, you know, because you're rarely ever going to use it, so it doesn't need to flip out that easy. Go ahead and hide that in there like the ones do on the GM. In fact, I've got a cover I'd have to completely take off and get the key out if I needed it, but I don't need it on my Chevrolet. I don't need it on a Jeep either. I like the key fob bigger. Ladies like it smaller, but put me some bigger buttons on there and get rid of this. This is awful. All right, let's go down the road and see how this thing drives. Okay, let's hit the road in this Jeep. One thing I'll tell you, it's got some kind of weird park feature. If you throw it in gear and take off too quick, it'll, oh, the door's open. That's what it is. If the door's open and you go to take off, it'll hit the brakes on you. So just a safety feature. Kind of a weird one. Now, I've already changed the auto stop-start feature where it shuts it off at a red light. I don't like that version. I wish you could turn it off and it would stay off. I'm sure future
Future ones will, due to the fact that, you know, EPA is getting rid of a bunch of this junk that they've had to shove down our throats for so many years. I got the piece on Amazon. I think it was like 50 bucks, and to where it's auto stop start stays off all the time. I do say one thing, like I said earlier, is I love how the fog lights, you can turn them on, and then every time your automatic headlights come on, the fog lights are on. On my Chevrolet, I have to turn them on every single time, and I wish it would stay latched, because I want them, every time my headlights are on, I want my fog lights on. Why that's even a thing, I don't know. You know, one thing about these infotainment systems that I didn't like when I worked at the dealer, and I didn't like as they got even more and more to where you can't even change the radio out, you know, thinking, well, you've got this deal you're going to deal with. I love the fact that manufacturers have elected to utilize these. When they first came out with all the touch screens and all that, you just got what you got. Now they've got a lot of features where you can change things. You can change your screen, you can change from pitch roll, you can change, put your gauges on. I mean, all this stuff, given the driver and the consumer, the person who just spent a ton of money buying your vehicle, giving them some control on what this screen will do, what your computer can do, and what your settings are. I think that's a win. I think it's only going to get better as manufacturers if they'll listen to their consumer and do things for them like that. But right now, just trying to give an overview. If somebody's interested in buying one, transitioning into one like we did, never owned a Mopar product until this, no Chrysler product, and I just want to let you guys know my opinion on it, and hopefully help you make your decision and your opinion. This old dirt road going in here, we'll just drive through the field and check these bad boys out. We're calving right now, so I come over here sometimes twice a day, check on them. One thing I do like, I mean, I'm not the guy that's going to try to get in everywhere in two-wheel drive. I mean, I'm going to come up here. I don't want to tear my fields up and tear my hay. So it's just as easy as that. I didn't even stop and do anything. Just reach down and you can feel that, almost like a manual transmission. Slide that thing into four-wheel drive, come right back out of the hill fine. The shifter, the manual shifter, props to Chrysler too, props to Jeep for keeping it a manual shifter. I mean, it's right there. You know, a lot of manufacturers are getting away from that altogether, and everything's electronic shift. And for me, that takes a lot of the mechanics out of it. It just feels better when you can reach down and slide that thing into four-wheel drive manually. I don't know what it is. You know, it's not a big to-do or anything, but I like it. I want to see that, and I love that they continue to keep it that way. So, good job, Jeep. So, I want to wrap this video up of this review in summary. I believe that the Jeep, now you can get crazy with everything else, but I believe a base Jeep, or this is a Willys version, so you do get the rear lock. Yeah, Rubicon, you get a front lock. I don't know that that's necessary. Just depends on what you're doing. If you're literally buying it for off-road purposes, like that's your main objective, you're going to take this thing off-road, go for the two lockers. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. However, you know, if you're the occasional off-road, maybe you're farming, guys, you know that are farming, if you're not going to buy a GM with a front locker, you're not going to buy a Ford with a front locker unless you buy a Raptor. So, you know, and I think GM put them on them old Hummers or whatnot, which was a total marketing failure. I mean, I still say this, Hummer's around, guess what? It's all electric. I still say, Hummer, you got GM, you have the brand Hummer, and you've dropped the ball every single time you've built a Hummer. Since you took it from AM General, who built one of the ultimate off-road vehicles and conquered over to the Jeep for the military with the H1 military Humvee, unbelievably capable. Why they put a GM diesel in it, that's one thing I'll question. That motor was awful, but it was tank. I mean, it was bulletproof. So I say, GM, you got a hold of it, built the H2. Really? You put lockers and stuff in it, but then a bunch of chrome all over it. I mean, you built it to not go. You built it like luxury, but it had off-road capability. But then the price tag, nobody in their right mind was going to buy that thing in that time, take it off-road and beat it up. I mean, it was just like, what are you doing? And you're doing the same thing now. You've got the Hummer price, you got the Hummer line, and you build a pretty good looking vehicle, crab crawls, does the whole thing, and it's electric. Nobody's going to take that in the woods and put it in a mud hole. Nobody's going to take that hunting. Nobody's going to use it on the farm. Pull yourself together, General Motors. If you need me to come up here, I've always wanted to work on production side, so you can call me. I'll help you design one. But let's take the Hummer and compete with the Jeep. You got a lot of catching up to do, and a lot of catching up might mean reverting back to some old stuff that just works. Good job, Jeep. I like it. I'm not asking for a highway vehicle. I've got those. Make a good little off-road at a decent price. It could be cheaper, but with what people are paying for side-by-sides, I'd buy another Jeep. So before I buy a side-by-side. So that being said, if you want a vehicle for around town that's good for everything, capable, buy the Jeep. If you're looking for a travel vehicle that take trips in, run up down the interstate, it ain't your vehicle. It ain't your vehicle. So, but it's up to you. Each to their own. So I hope you enjoyed this review. This is my first one. I've rambled a lot, but we've talked about a lot. There's probably some stuff I missed and wanted to cover some bases. So, but we own this vehicle, so we'll be going through it and talking about that as we come to them. I'll make more videos. My goal here was just to inform people. I didn't know what I was getting into when I got a Jeep, or my wife rather, but I'm glad I have, and it's kind of neat to see do something different, totally different than we've ever done. So it is a fun vehicle, and I say it's like a Colt. Once you get in it, you get hooked and you're stuck. But so much aftermarket, and aftermarket and Jeep seem to work together. We got some projects coming down the pike, and so we'll see how good. We've got already put the running boards on this one, and it was just a simple bolt unbolt. I mean, easy peasy. These vehicles are easy to work on, and they're meant for their owners to customize them and work on them, which I think is a cool factor too. In the world that we live in today, and a lot of manufacturers are doing everything they can to keep you from touching their equipment. I give props to Jeep for working with their customers and making a vehicle that they can have fun with and enjoy. So don't miss out on more to come. We're going to get into a lot of things. Barrett Builds. Like, subscribe. Hey, give us a comment. I want to hear from you. And let's come along for the journey and the ride and the projects and everything else. So let's learn stuff together and have fun together. See ya.